Hello again. Thank you again for watching this special Mother's Day episode of the Guido Goes Off. For those of you watching that happen to be mothers, I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day and that your kids did something special to show that they care. And I mean, let's face facts. None of us would be here without a mother. This is the woman who made your lunches, kissed your boo-boos, was there for you at your worst, and helped you celebrate your best. And so before I go into this episode any further, I'd like to dedicate this episode to my mother, who the lady's a saint. She deserves like a feast day. Yeah. Woman who's done so much for me in the past, continues even to this day to still do so much for me, and is a living proof that a mother's work is never done. And so, for you, Mom, thank you. I don't know if she'll ever see this, but if you do, thank you. So, what am I doing talking about moms on a wrestling podcast? Well, let's face facts. There are a lot of women who have wrestled and are involved in wrestling, and who have even helped foster the another generation of wrestlers in the process. And I decided to take some time, listen and argue with myself and other sources. The folks in the DM have helped out. Boss Lady helped me with the final denotion. So I think for only the second time on this show, we are doing a countdown. The top Guidos. Let's make sure about this. This is my list. It's mine. Guido's top 10 wrestling moms. Now, before I go into the list, of course, I did have some criteria. Besides the glaringly obvious, they had to have given birth to a child. Fur mommies don't count, which, I believe me, fostering pets is a wonderful thing. Having animals with you. Unfortunately, those people don't count. So you will not see Natty on this list. You will not see Paige, Alexa Bliss has some fur babies. You'll no one find them on this list. Sorry. But, they had to give birth to a child. Of course, special consideration was given to the number of children, the notable titles those people held, whether their children are multi-gen wrestler, whether they continue to wrestle, numbers of how they have, Hall of Fame, there's a Hall of Famer or two on here, and of course, their contribution to wrestling as a whole. Now again, this is my list. You will have ample time to criticize me on my list and, suggest any I might have missed. So without further ado, Guido's top 10 wrestling moms. Well, this list does start off with a big name on it. It starts off with a recent Hall of Fame inductee. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 10 wrestling mom, the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix. As we know, during her wrestling career, she was very dominant as a wrestler in the Divas division at the time. I think a 3-time WWE Women's Champion. And I know she was also, I think she was in that rare club that she was also Divas Champion. I'm trying to remember. I probably should have fact-checked on this with me still. But, as we know, she's had, I think, 3 kids, either 2 or 3 kids, of course, with her now fellow Hall of Famer, WWE Superstar Edge. A fact that was brought up during the Hall of Fame ceremony, and it was nice that she took the time to embarrass her husband. Yeah. But anyway, Beth's contributions to wrestling, are well noted, and while she didn't continue after becoming a mother, I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibility yet. She still looks like she could go, and much to her credit. But yeah, so that's what puts Beth Phoenix at number 10, Wrestling Mom. My number 9 Wrestling Mom is a very, very recent addition to the Club of Motherhood. My number 9 Wrestling Mom, Brie Bella. As we know, was just announced last week, she gave birth to the child that will be known as Birdie Joe Danielson. Poor kid might as well have a sign on their neck that says, "Yes, my parents were hippies." So, but I digress. Brie, of course, she hasn't really had a chance to come back to wrestling yet. We hear she might try. But it's been she's a former Divas champion. She's an inspiration to women, and now she's one of those few people that can say that she's had it all. And, between and I hate to say it, between the wrestling and Total Divas and Total Bellas and that, she has, much to our chagrin, contributed quite a bit to wrestling. The definition of that contribution, differs between various people, but she has been an inspiration to some, and whatever gets you into wrestling, I'm always fine with. But and I'd say it's a pretty heavy contribution what she's done, and so that's what puts Brie Bella as my number 9 Wrestling Mom. My number 8 Wrestling Mom may come as a surprise, but given criteria, she does rank pretty high up here. My number 8, Angelina Love. Okay, now before you're like, well, but she 6-time Knockouts champion. That kind of weighed pretty heavily in there. As we all know, Angelina Love, as part of the Beautiful People, she was 6-time Knockouts champion. I think it was a couple years ago. Got married to Davey Richards, and the two recently had a child, and now she's coming back part as his valet, but here recently she's been starting to wrestle again in a feud with, I forget her name, but Eddie Edwards' wife. And so, like I said, and that weighed pretty heavy in the criteria. She's a 6-time Knockouts champion, but still the most of any TNA knockout or Impact knockout, however you want to slice it. So that that's pretty big, and of course, I'd like to see Impact in general get better, but Angela, and think what you will of that, but in the list of things, it's it's pretty good placement. So that's why my number 8 Wrestling Mom, Angelina Love. I suck at doing the Beautiful People thing. I'm sorry. My number 7 Wrestling Mom. Well, I think a lot of people are going to give me lectures because this person rates so low. But it's given the criteria, it's the only reason why. Number 7, well, let's just say it was guaranteed. My number 7 wrestling mom, Trish Stratus. 8-time women's champion. Most of any woman on the roster in WWE history, at least as far as title reigns. Length of reign. Who's going to beat a 25-year reign? I mean, honestly, is anyone going to beat a 25-year reign? I don't think so. But 8-time women's champion, then retired from active wrestling, had her son. She then, hopped in for one more match. I think it was that one at WrestleMania 20 something. I want to say WrestleMania 28 or 29, where it was her, Snooki, and John Morrison against 29, or is that 28? Versus, I think Eve was involved in the opposition. It doesn't matter. She wasn't in there for very long, and then we saw Snooki doing cartwheels and shit. But of course, launching her yoga and beauty products lines. It's not that she hasn't been active since becoming a mother. It's just she hasn't been active in wrestling. And that's why she kind of rates low on this list. But I'm not going to knock her. She's done wonderful things, in wrestling. Great legacy. And, she's still trying to help and inspire people after her career in wrestling. And always wonderful. So, my number 7 wrestling mom, Trish Stratus. My number 6 wrestling mom. I'm gonna get the hate for this one, but honestly, I think it's well deserved. My number 6 wrestling mom, Madison Rayne. I know what you're thinking. Why Madison Rayne? And that the fact that she's married to Josh Matthews should drop her. I would have loved to put that up there as a criteria, but yeah, you can't help who you fall in love with. I understand that. But anyway, so. The reason why Madison Rayne is this high on this list. Multi-time knockouts champion. Had a child. I did feel bad that in doing research to this, found out that shortly after she had the child, her husband, who at the time, I believe he was a member of the U.S. Air Force, wanted a divorce, and I'm like, what the hell, man? Seriously, raise a kid. You can yell at each other later. You got 18 years. Raise a kid. But it is what it is. But now not only is she's semi-active in the ring. However, she is part of Impact Management. For how long is anybody's guess? Because Impact is doing that. Yeah, I get it. I'm trying to focus on the ladies here, the moms. But she, from what I gather, she is part of TNA management, is in charge of, at least behind the scenes, she's in charge of the Knockouts division. So, that helps, at least trying, to showcase women's wrestling on Impact. But again, and there's still, I think she still could have a very good career. And I hope she does. Even though she is attached to an anchor that's dragging her down and using his cell phone all the time to do it. So, Madison Rayne. Are y'all happy? I'm getting Roman on the brain. Are y'all happy now? Madison Rayne, my number 6 wrestling mom. Alright, here we are, the halfway point. Number 5. Well, let's just get into it. My number 5 wrestling mom. I gotta quit doing that. My number 5 wrestling mom, Nikki James. As we know, had a wonderful career in WWE. I think she was the first to hold the WWE Women's Championship, the Divas Championship, and the TNA Knockouts Championship. Of course, it's not all at the same time, but was successful in WWE. Left WWE, became successful in TNA at the time. Had a child with Nick Aldis, who we all know as the poor sap who had to drop his belt to Del Rio, otherwise he was going to cry. And, well then, having the comeback in January to WWE. Coming back at NXT TakeOver Toronto, wrestling Asuka, and then getting signed to a full-time contract. This is one of those situations where I thought it was interesting. There was the chant of "You still got it." She never lost it. I mean, she's come back, and she's in great shape. I'd say she's in a lot better shape than she was those last year or so in TNA. She's gotten back to and she's having great matches with even with the talent being far escalated than it was when she left. And like I said, she's still having great matches on a consistent basis. It's been wonderful to see. And so that's why she's so high up on this list. And all right, number 5, Nikki James, wrestling mom. Number 4, wrestling mom. Well, this could get interesting for placement. My number 4, wrestling mom, sweet Saraya Knight. And no, she's not this high just because I'm a Paige fan. Let's look at the details. Okay. The woman's had, I believe, 5 children. I think unfortunately one of them passed. At least 4 of them have been wrestlers. 3 are active. So she has had 3, count them, 3 multi-generational successful wrestlers in Roy, in Zach, and of course Paige. And she's still active, wrestling a pretty full schedule, and helping to promote WAW and her women's portion of WAW, Bellatrix. So you're talking active wrestler, full-time mom, full-time promoter, and of course the story that she wrestling while being pregnant with Paige. If that isn't dedication to the craft, I don't know what is. And so that's why Saraya Knight is number 4 on my list of wrestling moms. "13 kids. 11 of them wrestlers. The other 2 married wrestlers. Grandchildren that are wrestlers. In-laws that are wrestlers. This woman has been so immersed in breeding wrestling. She had to be on this list, and she had to be this high. For those, so with that, so a lot of you probably know who I'm talking about. My number 3 wrestling mom, Helen Hart, the matriarch of the Hart, of the true Hart dynasty. Like I said, this woman's why I probably wash more tights than Alfred ever will. I mean, let's face facts. 11 wrestlers. Of course, Brett and Owen and Keith and Bruce. You know, having to hear the sounds of guys getting stretched in her basement by her husband. Like I said, 13 children. They either were a wrestler or married a wrestler. Produced at least one. We're hoping to, if Owen ever gets in, and Owen should, Hall of Famers. And like I said, this is one of the women who's done more for wrestling than I think anyone ever will. Yeah, there's 2 more above her, and I'm getting to that. But my number 3 wrestling mom, Helen Hart. Had to be like a wind tunnel. You probably pull an arm, a baby just fly right out. Like a slot machine, but instead of coins flying out like a baby would. I'm thinking way too much into this. My number 2 wrestling mom. God, how I did not want to put this woman on this list, but the criteria forced me to do so. My number 2 wrestling mom, Stephanie McMahon. Okay, let's put my how much I despise her booking. I despise her writing. I despise her voice. I despise everything about her. But if I go by the criteria, the true woman who has it all, because her daddy's Vince McMahon. But let me digress. She's giving birth to 3 beautiful kids. Still is not afraid to get in there and mix it up. At least every so often, and once as a wrestler since the birth of the 3rd kid, and of course willing to take bumps in Triple H matches, always fun. And so even outside of that, like her actual contributions and that in being managed, also being the brand manager, the chief brand officer of WWE, going out and being and representing WWE with various charities and social outreach. It is noble and it is great to see her do that. And like I said, she contributes a lot to the business. And also, former women's champion. I know a lot of us want to forget that, but a former women's champion. And she, still continues to, with a full-time work schedule and all this. I admire the balancing act that any mother does to, keep it all together. And so, and for that, I applaud Stephanie. Just keep her off my TV. I think we'll all be okay. My number 2 wrestling mom, Stephanie McMahon. Drum roll, please. My number 1 wrestling mom, Linda McMahon. So, why does Linda top this list? Okay. 2 kids. Both champions. an incredible businesswoman. Basically, without Linda McMahon, we wouldn't have a WWE because she was the the CEO for the longest time until she decided to work on her political aspirations. Now, as we all know now, for those of you that don't know, President Trump appointed her as the head of the Small Business Administration, which is a government position. But like I said, she got, Shane, having to deal with Vince's shit, having to deal with Shane's shit, giving birth to Shane, giving birth to Stephanie, having to deal with that, having, all of that family drama, and you're also the CEO of WWE for a long time, basically running it day to day, and and helping to make it the success that it is even today. That's that in of itself. I can't think of someone who's contributed more. And so that's why, as far as I'm concerned, number one, wrestling mom, Linda McMahon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was my list. My Guido's top 10 wrestling moms. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, why don't you like this video, share it with your friends, your family, your mom. I'm sure she'd love it. Put a ball on it. And as always, if you have never subscribed to the channel, feel free to click that subscribe button and ring the little bell for notifications on when new episodes are coming. What moms do you think I should have put on this, wrestling moms that you think I should have put on this list? Feel free to let me know in the comments section below. And as always, there's my most glorious social media. You can reach me anytime, day or night. Whether or not I answer is going to be completely up to the cats. Okay. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Once again, to all the moms out there watching this show, thank you for watching. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I hope your kids shows you just how much they love you and appreciate everything you do in their lives. Because motherhood is the most thankless job in the world, and it should be recognized more than once a year. So, until next time, I'm the Guido, and I think we're done here.